So, if you're a mental health professional looking into EMDR, you've definitely come across the terms EMDR trained and EMDR certified. And yeah, it can be a little confusing. But don't worry. In this explainer, we are going to break it all down, demystify these credentials so you can figure out your own professional path with total confidence. Let's get into it.
Right. This is the big question, isn't it? What's the real difference? Do you need one over the other? What do these titles actually mean for your practice? Look, the confusion is completely normal, and I promise, by the end of this, you are going to have a crystal clear answer.
All right, let's start at square one. Before anyone even starts thinking about certification, every single therapist has to go through the foundational program, EMDR Basic Training. This is the starting line. It's the essential first step for anyone on an EMDR journey.
To put it simply, Basic Training is the official EMDR-approved program that teaches you everything you need to know to start using EMDR therapies safely and effectively. You can think of it as the launchpad for everything else that follows. It's non-negotiable.
Now, this 50-hour training is not just about sitting in lectures. Not at all. It's really dynamic. It's broken down into 3 key parts. First, you've got 20 hours of didactic learning. That's the theory, the 8-phase protocol. Then you get 20 hours of practicum, which is crucial, supervised, hands-on practice. And finally, 10 hours of consultation, where you're discussing your actual cases with an approved consultant. It's a really comprehensive, immersive experience.
So, what does this all mean when you're done? Well, once you've completed those 50 hours, you are officially, fully qualified to use the EMDR protocol. You can weave it right into your existing practice, and you can ethically and accurately call yourself EMDR trained. You are good to go.
Okay, so you've done the foundational training. You're out there using EMDR with clients. What's next? Well, this is where a therapist might choose to take that next step and pursue EMDR certification. And the key word here is choose. It's an optional, more advanced move.
So, what exactly is certification? It's a voluntary credential that you get from EMDRIA. It's not a license. It's not a requirement to practice. Think of it more like a professional badge of honor. It signals to your clients, to your colleagues, that you've gone above and beyond the basics to really demonstrate a high level of expertise.
And yeah, getting there is a much bigger lift. On top of your basic training, you have to log at least 50 clinical EMDR sessions with 25 different clients. You also have to double your consultation hours up to 20 total, and then you submit detailed case summaries for review. This whole process is about proving you've put in the hours in the real world.
Okay, so we've looked at both paths. Now let's put them side by side and compare them directly. This is really where the distinction is going to click into place.
If you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. This is the crucial point. Training is the education you need to learn how to do EMDR. Certification is the credential you earn to prove your expertise. One is about learning the skill, the other is about demonstrating your mastery of it.
And this table just lays it all out so clearly. You can see basic training is an educational program, right? Its whole purpose is to teach you how to use EMDR. The outcome? You're qualified to practice. The timeline is usually a few months. But certification? That's a professional credential. Its purpose is to demonstrate your advanced competency. The outcome is that official EMDRIA certified title, and it typically takes another 6 to 18 months after you've already finished your training.
You know, because there's a bit of confusion around this topic, a few myths have popped up over the years. So let's take a minute to just bust the most common ones, so you can make your choices based on solid facts, not fiction. This right here is probably the biggest, most common myth out there. So many therapists worry that they can't actually start using EMDR until they're fully certified.
And the answer to that? It is absolutely 100% false. Let me just say it again. That is false.
So here's the reality. Completing that 50-hour EMDRI-approved basic training is the green light. That is what qualifies you to practice EMDR therapy, period. Certification is a fantastic goal, but it is a completely optional credential.
Okay, here's another one I hear a lot. People sometimes think that getting certified just means, signing up for a few more weekend workshops or advanced courses.
And again, nope, that is also false. That's a pretty common misunderstanding of what the certification process is really all about.
The truth is, certification has very little to do with more classroom time. It's all about documented clinical work. You have to prove that you've been applying EMDR with real clients and getting expert feedback on that work.
It's a true demonstration of real-world competency, not just class attendance.
And let's just bust two more, really fast. First, the myth that certification automatically makes you a better therapist. Well, clinical skill is way more complex than that. And second, the myth that once you're certified, you're done learning. No way. You actually have to keep up with continuing education just to maintain your certification.
Okay, so with all of that cleared up, the big question is, what's right for you? This final section is all about helping you take this information and apply it to your own career, your own goals. So when is basic training the obvious next step? Well, it's for you if you're brand new to EMDR, of course, or if you just want to add this incredible modality to your clinical toolkit. Maybe your job requires it. It's the essential starting point for anyone who wants those foundational, evidence-based skills for working with trauma.
And what about certification? When should you start thinking about that path? Well, this is a great goal for after you've completed your training and you find yourself using EMDR all the time. It's a perfect fit if you're aiming to specialize in trauma or if you're building a private practice and want to attract more referrals. Plus, it gets you listed in EMDRIA's public directory, which is a huge bonus.
You know, at the end of the day, whether you decide to remain EMDR trained or go on to become EMDR certified, the title is secondary to the real mission. The priority for all of us is always about delivering safe, effective, and deeply compassionate trauma-informed care. The key is just to choose the path that best equips you to do exactly that.